Okay, well, we will go ahead and get started. Jason Day, thanks for joining us for a few minutes prior to the 2021 AT&T Byron Nelson uh, tournament. You've had a lot of success in. You're making your sixth start. You've had four top 10 finishes, including the win in 2010 and a runner-up in your most recent start. Obviously, a different course this week, but
Yep.
just some thoughts on being back here at the tournament this week.
It's actually quite surprising that I've had four top tens and I've only played it six times. I don't know why I haven't come
Wow.
back. Well, there you go. I don't know why I haven't come back and played it a lot more, but good memories. I used to live, not too far away from here, from 2008 to 2010. So similar kind of grass that we, obviously this week's a little bit different with the Zoysia and all that stuff, but yeah, no, I've had good memories. I can't believe that it's been 11 years since my first win. So that feels like it's it was only yesterday, and then it's 11 years gone by. So, but I'm pleased about being back. In Texas, McKinney. I've never actually played this golf course other than the last 3 days. We had some weather, Monday, Tuesday, but we got some great weather coming in. Starting from kind of the rest of this afternoon going forward. And I feel good about the game right now. I've been working very hard. I know that the results haven't come this year, but it's nice to be able to come back, not essentially to a place that I've played before, but to a tournament that I've played before, and seeing all the familiar faces that I've seen in the past, and everyone's so nice here, and it's been actually quite a nice change to be able to come back and just kind of relax into a tournament.
Okay, and just a reminder to those on the call, if you do have a question, if you type your name and outlet into the chat, I will see and call on you. And Jason, one more follow-up question from me, and then I'll open it up. You mentioned the course. Just your thoughts. You said you've had a chance to play it this week. Just your thoughts
Yeah.
on the course and how you think it might set up for you.
Yeah, I think going forward, the fairways and the greens are holding up nicely with how much rain we've had. The rough is obviously patchy in parts, only due to the fact that there is, it's Bermuda, and Bermuda can be patchy depending on how the growth is during the spring and everything. But I feel like the course is in tremendous shape. I think it'll set up nice. Kind of over the next 2 days, conditions will be a little bit softer, and as we get into the weekend and things start to warm up a little bit, it'll start to kind of firm up a little bit, especially on the greens. Green surfaces are perfect. The grain of the bunkers, they're not huge pieces of grainy stone in there, so you can actually kind of get a little bit of spin out of it, which is nice. And then obviously the one thing that makes things tough is Bermuda rough. The fairways are perfect. So Bermuda rough is always inconsistent coming out. So that's the tough part. But the golf course, I think the guys are going to go pretty low this week. I think there's some long holes out here. It's a big course, but I feel like it all weather dependent in regards to the wind. But I think there's a lot of holes out here that you can get after.
Okay, all right. Well, with that, we'll take a few questions, and we will start, not surprisingly, with Ben Everell, PGAtour.com. Benny, go ahead.
Hey mate, how you going?
Good, Benny. How are you, bud?
Good. Mate, just quickly, how's Ellie doing, and how's the timing of all that, and do you expect to miss any golf in the next 4 or 5 weeks?
I could get a call this week or next week. She's 2 to 3 centimeters dilated already and 50% effaced. So, which means, and her belly's already dropped. So it could come in, this week, next week. I mean, in the next 4 weeks it can come. So she's full term on Friday. So yeah, I'm on call waiting for her to. We have people staying with her, obviously, because she's not back looking after 3 kids by herself. So we want to make sure that I want to make sure that I can get back. That's the biggest thing, is be able to. I mean, if I'm playing golf, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that I see the birth of my, our 4th child. But she's feeling good. She's like. I think she's ready to get it out. So, I mean, she's a very, very strong woman. So I couldn't handle it going what she's gone through. It's watching her go through pregnancy is difficult enough, and I'm not even pregnant. So
given that state and that you could effectively leave at any stage, especially during the next 2 weeks,
yeah.
How are you approaching the need to try to get into Torrey Pines? Obviously, that's got to have been a major usurped a long time ago.
Yeah, obviously being on the outside looking in kind of thing. That's something I haven't even thought about missing a major championship in a very long time, and I'm obviously on the border of missing that. I've got to play good the next 2 weeks, but to be honest, if I don't get in, I'm not qualifying. Already. I've got a scheduled event for NetJets that I've got on Monday after Memorial, so I'm planning on doing that instead of going to qualify. So I gotta do it the other way around, which is I gotta either play well or win a tournament out of the next 2 weeks, or Memorial. But yeah, I mean it's obviously disappointing in regards that I haven't played the way that I've wanted to. But to be honest, it might be a good little time away if the baby does come early, or if the baby comes on time. That I get to spend at home with Ellie and the newborn and obviously the family. But don't get me wrong, in that time I'm still going to be working hard because I'm not thinking about just Torrey Pines. Obviously, I'd love to play Torrey Pines, US Open there, because I've had a lot of success around that golf course. But my thing is that I'm starting and I'm just trying to build and build that confidence because I feel like my game's starting to come around nicely now. I feel good about it.
All right, mate. I'll let the others have a few questions and I might come back at the end.
All right.
Cheers.
All right, we'll go next to Brian Wacker. We call it Digest.
Hey, Jace. So let me just back up for a moment. So are you saying that if you don't get in with your play, this week, Memorial, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that you won't try to go through qualifying? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Totally unrelated question.
Okay.
Next week, you guys will be allowed to use rangefinders at the PGA.
Yep.
I'm curious, two things. One, how do you think that will impact play or more specifically performance? And then secondly, do you like the idea of being able to use them?
I don't mind the idea. I mean, golf is always evolving and changing, and obviously rangefinders. I think if you hit one way off the map and you can't quite get an accurate, if the angle's off, if you hit one way right or way left and the angle's off a little bit, that's when a Bushnell or a rangefinder will come in handy. I'm probably still going to do. I don't think I'll use a Bushnell. I've rangefinder next week. I'll probably still do the yardage book. Me and the caddy will do the yardage book because essentially, if there's a guy that's doing, I can understand if you as a player didn't do yardages, and you just were solely like relying on your caddy for yardages, then you could kind of do it just to double check. But if you're doing it, then looking at yardage book, it's just one more thing. So maybe I don't know if they've done studies and tests on if it's slower or faster, but it'll be interesting to see how many guys do it. I'm not going to do it next week.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, we go to Sean Martin on PGAtour.com.
Just was curious how the work with Chris Como is going.
Yep.
What you guys are specifically working on, and then
Yep.
being in Dallas, are you going over to his house and his lab?
Right. No. The work is good. So it's like at the start of the year, we wanted to make sure that the body we could swing it in a way where the body wouldn't hurt, and I feel like the body is in a great position right now. So I've been working great with my trainer and obviously great with Como. Certain positions that we're trying to get into. Now we're looking at certain other things like release patterns and all that other stuff now. So we're past. I feel like we're past the stage of like kind of just gently getting into it so that I can actually swing in a certain way that it doesn't hurt my body. I think we're past that. Now we're getting into like the nitty gritty stuff, the really small finite stuff that, put the whole swing together. And I've got to be careful because I'm excited about changing and making change quick. And sometimes if you make change too quick, then it throws your playing field out. So I just, I was working with a guy named Jason Goldsmith who does focus band and all that stuff as well. He worked with Justin Rose over the last few years. I worked with him from, I think, end of 2012 or so, all the way through my, kind of number one years. And it's nice to be able to, mix what Chris is putting into, and then also keep the playing field going as well. So that's kind of, what I've been working on. But, Chris, it's been great to work with Chris because my body feels great.
Are you going over to the house or the lab?
No. During tournament weeks, I do not want to work on swing. I'm not like Bryson probably be there or whatever it is, but like I'm not going to work on anything with my swing and swing related. I'll take a few videos, but when I'm here, I'm trying to work on playing field and just get going.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Next up is Mark Cannizzaro with the New York Post.
Hey, Jason. This is a question more regarding next week in the PGA and kind of a twofold question. One is, what's your familiarity with Kiawah on the Ocean course?
Right.
And my second question is about Rory and just kind of, he just broke through obviously at Quail. He, like a lot of you guys, he's a pretty good front runner when he gets things rolling. We've kind of seen him get rolling, and obviously he won at Kiawah. So I'm just kind of curious what you might expect out of him next week as well.
So it's kind of funny. Like, I don't have a lot of memories of Kiawah. I remember playing it and made the cut, I think, and then didn't really finish anything. Miscut? Well, thanks, Benny. I don't know. I couldn't even remember. The only thing that I do remember is that Rory ran away with it and killed it. In regards to Rory, obviously, I didn't watch a lot of it, but I was trying to keep track of him on Shot Tracker. I can't remember. He didn't hit a lot of fairways last week, but you could kind of get away with it because the rough was down. So he was hitting a lot of quality iron shots into the greens. He was hitting 75-ish% of greens in regulation. Short game was off the charts. And obviously putting, he was holding a lot of good putts. So Kiawah Island's a pretty big course. He'll need his distance. I don't necessarily think he'll need to hit it as straight as I just can't remember. I don't know. I think his distance is crucial out there, and his short game is going to be crucial because I think he's already hitting his irons really good. But with that being said, he's coming off a win. He's very confident right now, so he's going to be very dangerous next week.
Thanks, Jason. Have a good week.
No worries.
Okay, we've just got Adam Shupak with Golf Week next, and then we'll have Benny get us across the goal line.
Yep.
Jason, can you describe how different it is to be number one in the world versus now being number 62?
It's definitely a lot more quiet. There's not a lot of these that go around. I think the biggest, there's a lot more stress, I would say. It's a different kind of stress. When you're number one in the world, there's a lot more people that are kind of, wanting more of your time, and that's fine. I understand that part of it. This is a different kind of stress because at the start of the year, I had no idea what was going on in my game. I was obviously trying to change my swing, and then my putting hadn't been the same, and I got too technical with my putting. The rhythm of the stroke went off, and I was too kind of short, like slow stop jab stroke, and then I couldn't control the speed of my putts well, especially at short range. Lost a lot of confidence in regards to my game, and it's crazy because I feel like in my good putting days, I was the best putter in the world, and it was one thing that was holding me back, and I explain it this way. My analogy to it is that obviously we live in our we're in our solar system. There's a sun, and putting was my sun. It was my everything. We need the sun to kind of live and kind of go on, and for me, putting was the middle of my universe. It was the sun for me. So to be able to not have that killed a lot of my confidence, and it didn't matter how I hit it, I could always work something out. And to not have that just crushed me because I struggled a lot with trying to, score. And I mean, you could see it in my scoring. I would, for a moment there, I would average 4.5, 5 birdies around. And, more so recently, I was averaging maybe less than, maybe 2 or 3, maybe less than that. So being number 1 in the world is, how do I explain it? I enjoyed my time, getting there. I didn't like it, but, I would do stuff differently to enjoy my time a lot more the next time I get there. Being here right now, it's more of, I'm not trying to rebuild stuff. I'm trying to gain my confidence back and not swagger, but I'm trying to learn things, because when I was number 1 in the world, I really didn't kind of know how I got there. I always had Cole, taking care of everything, everything that, in regards to mental or physical or anything like that, always went through Cole. So I really just went out and played. He took care of everything. Now I'm kind of quarterbacking everything in regards to, I'm talking to my trainer, I'm talking to my mental coach. I always never had my hands in that, because I always had it taken care of. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot different. At some point you get to a point where you kind of get in the position I am, and you get to the point where, because my big thing was I can't fall outside the top 50. I've never been there for a while, and I can't do that. But you get to a point where you're like, okay, forget that. Just try and work on some things. Obviously priorities are changing for me with a new child on the way, but yeah, I feel comfortable in myself now that I'm just kind of getting things back in order and aligning things. I feel really good about my game. I know that I just got to keep persisting, because if I don't do it, it's not going to be enjoyable for me. And if it's not enjoyable for me, I'll just may as well retire. And because I can't play the way that I'm doing and beat my head against a wall, essentially. So, but then on the other hand, I'm like, no, you can't quit. You got to keep pushing, stay persistent, stay positive, stay patient, keep moving forward, and it'll come back. So right now I'm trying to do that.
We make a big deal about the majors, but I'm curious, are the majors less important to you than they used to be?
No, majors are very, very important. Right now, they're not important. Just because they're more important when I feel like my game is in a position to win. Right now, I feel like my game is in position to win if I get lucky. But that's, kind of before last week. What I've worked on this week, I don't know how I'm going to play this week, but for the first time in a long time, I feel really good about where my game is at. Man, I've always struggled sleeping, but the first part of this season, man, I didn't sleep. I haven't slept that great, because you're just sitting there stressing about, the game, sitting there stressing about your results, sitting there stressing about all these other things that are happening in your life. And I hadn't been sleeping that great at all because of that. And, the majors per se, you always kind of want to work yourself up to it. But, when you've got no confidence in your game, it's just really difficult to even think about winning one. So right now, I'm it's not at the top of my priority list to obviously you want to play well. But right now, I'm trying to build a good foundation where I can actually build a nice building on it and build my game around it. And if I can do that, then I know that it's going to be better off in the end.
Let me just ask one last follow-up going on earlier. You said you have an outing with NetJets. Did you schedule that thinking there's no chance you're not going to already be qualified?
I just, in my mind, there's certain ways. I mean, there's nothing to qualifications or anything, qualifying for a tournament or anything like that, because I've qualified, I never qualified for a major, but I qualified for a couple of Corn Ferry Tour events back in the day. I just feel like if I do it that way, that it's just in my mind, my mindset will say, okay, it's fine. You can just go qualify, next year, and I'll just get used to qualifying instead of going, no, I'm not going to qualify I got to earn my way into that spot. You know what I mean? That's what I'm essentially saying. And it's nothing against qualifying for a tournament. It's just that in my mind that I got to earn it. It's like I'd never wanted to go and play Augusta before, earning a spot there. I had plenty of opportunities, but I never wanted to go and play Augusta until I earned my spot, which was I ended up earning my spot back in 2011. So, it's interesting to be in this situation. But you know what? To be honest, I'm totally content where I'm at right now in regards. I'm here for a reason. What do I need to do to get out of it and push forward and get my ranking back where it needs to be? Because during 2015 and 2016, there were guys struggling, looking at me holding every part, winning tournaments, winning, 4 out of 6 events in a short period. Going, man, that's so nice to be able to. That'd be nice to be able to do that. And now I'm on the outside looking in, watching other guys do it, and it does suck watching it because I know what it feels like. But right now I'm not in the position, and I can't, I'm not jealous of it or anything like that. I just got to, understand why I'm here for a reason, and I'm in this position for a reason. How do you get out of this position and try and come up with a plan? Because if you don't come up with a plan to try and get out of the situation I'll just be kind of walking around in circles.
Thanks. Just a quick yes/no. Did you say you're working again with Jason Goldsmith?
Yeah, I'm working.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we've got time for one more, and we'll let Ben bring us home. Ben.
Thanks, mate. Do you think that the baby's birth will alleviate some of that stress you've been feeling?
I think yes. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed spending a lot of time with my kids, and this is our last one, so we're done after this. And it's like I said, priorities does change a little bit, but obviously, having a child, is the greatest thing that I feel like you can ever do. And fortunately for us, we're able to have 4, which is such a blessing. But I could get a call in the next 4 weeks or whenever, and this week, next week, and I could be on a plane going home. If it happens to be on Sunday at a major championship where I'm in contention, it happens. You got to do it. I mean, I'm not gonna miss it because I'm in contention. I'd much rather, golf tournament is, it'd be nice to win, but a family's forever. So you gotta be very, very careful of that. But yeah, I know right now I don't have anything distracting me other than there's a potential of a child coming in the next 4 weeks, and then other than that, I'm just all golf. That's all I am. Very motivated right now.
Anytime you want to know how good you are, mate, you know where to find me.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Have a good week.
Cheers, bud.
All right, Jason. Well, we appreciate your time. Certainly wish you the best of luck this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Dougie. Cheers.